Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. We are live. Right, did my little sound check. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Is everybody having a good evening? Did anybody have a good day? Do I have a little tomato sauce on my face today? I don't think so. I'm gonna repeat the same mistake I did yesterday. So welcome everyone. So today, as per usual, I changed the settings on my mic a little bit. I tried to put a little higher, closer to my mouth, and I used the advice of one of my good friend, which is actually the if you guys remember, I talked to you about a shaman named Alfred, where we got to 2.4k rating together, or 2.35, pretty much 2.4k together in the last season of BFA, and he's working in construction, and I'm really not the kind of handyman construction kind of guy and stuff like that. So I often ask him for advice, on certain things. And there's a thing about my desk. It's like, how can I explain that to you? It's like, like a desk, it's like you have this, right? And then like this is the side of the desk, right? Like this would be like the side kind of thing. And the way my mic works, it's like it's an arm, right? That has like the mic. It's not a pod, it's actually an arm like this. As you see. And what happens is that you're supposed to clip the arm like this. Like it clips like this, and then the mic pops up from here. The issue with my setting is that my table is not squared. Here, my table is like cut like this, and it has an angle. So when I put the clip like this, it's like this piece here at the bottom is actually like only halfway touching the table. So when I was screwing the device into place, sorry, I think there might have been little like latency problems. Let me check if I can low latency mode is on. Should be okay. But what I was saying was that the so basically the clip is like only when I screw the system in, that it like puts pressure like this, right, to kind of like stay stable. The part that is actually connected to the table under, only half of it is connected. So, and it was like angled like this. So if the mic would stay like this and not move, it'd be fine. But during the day when I'm not streaming, I actually kind of take the mic and I just like rotate it so that it points toward there, and it's not right in front of me the entire time. Because with this entire structure in front of me, I don't see my keyboard, I don't see what's going on. And when I'm working on my translations, I have like books and stuff right in front of me. So I need to be able to look down, which I can't when the mic is literally on my face. So I called him. It's kind of like, hey, bro, like, can you, like, I look at pictures of the setup and ask him some advice and stuff. And he told me, like, just take a piece of wood and screw it under on the table. And then make it stick out so that way the thing could actually clip like if the table was square. So I actually did it. I use a coaster, a wooden coaster that I actually used to have, and I screwed that under my table and, you know, squeeze the mic there. And now actually it's there, it's solid. It seems to be okay. It seems to be working. Nothing is like what is it? Yeah, nothing is like moving around and stuff like that. So I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I'm hoping it's gonna be fine. But yeah, so it changed a little bit the location of my mic on the table as well, because the place that I screwed it in. So I was able to kind of put it a little higher and closer to my face. So hopefully it's going to sound a little better, maybe a little more clear, because the thing is going to be closer to my face. At least that's what I'm hoping. So please correct me, y'all. It's the you know, you might have heard a little bit of my stream at some point. See if my mic is, and I also increased the gain on my mic, so my voice would be like a little louder. So anyway, all of that to say that hopefully you're going to be able to hear my voice a little better. The sound's going to be a little clearer. And yeah, I might have to yell a little less when I talk, because the thing is, when I'm excited about something and when I talk about something I'm passionate about, as you talk, you know, you heard me having this conversation for literally like an hour and a half on T, you know, like 3 streams ago. Like when I get into these kind of topics and I'm explaining and I'm gesticulating and moving around and like whatever, and I get super excited and passionate about what I'm saying, like I automatically, my voice level just raises to the ceiling. It's just like when I'm excited about whatever I do, I talk, I just start yelling pretty much. Like it's funny because one of my friends was also like that, and when we were together, it became almost like a contest of who would yell the louder when they speak. It's kind of funny. All right. Let's do this. So today, as per usual, we are continuing our fishing journey. So we have this goal that we set to ourselves to be able to reach 300 in fishing, literally go from 0 to 300, which is something I've never done before. In the 15 years I've played the game, I've never had any character level all the way to 300 fishing. So we're going to try to continue that journey today, and we'll dive right into it. So what I did last time is, I don't know if you remembered, but basically last time when we stopped and our fishing was at like 127. So that's like basically where we stopped. Our cooking is at 175. Because the cooking was at 175, we bought like a few recipes. We bought recipes that were in Booty Bay, and we bought recipes that were in South Shore, and now we were able to learn these recipes. But also on the time like in between the stream of yesterday and today, I also, in order to not make you guys lose like kind of like too much of your time of like watching this process, I on my own I went to Booty Bay and I bought the book, the fishing book that allows you to increase the skills all the way to 225. So as you can see now, we can increase fishing all the way to 225. But also on the way, when I was questing in Ashenvale, you know, like leveling in Ashenvale towards the beginning, like, you know, 2-3 weeks ago, leveling this character, I just landed on that character. I saw that there was a cooking book to increase from like 125 to 225, and I had no particular plan back then to level fishing, to level cooking and fishing and whatnot. But I was kind of like, you know what, like I'm just gonna buy it. It's gonna be in my bag, and worst case scenario, I'm just gonna put it on the auction house or something and try to make some money out of it, kind of thing. So that was the plan, and so I ended up having it in my bank, and I was just like, oh, I have it in my bank. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna like learn it, and I'm gonna do like that kind of stuff and whatnot. So it's been So that's what I did. Instead, I didn't have to go all the way to Ashenvale to buy the book. But technically, what happens is when you do level and you reach 125 in cooking and fishing, you need to go buy these books. One of them is in Ashenvale. Let me check. One of them is in Ashenvale in the lake here. Here, Mistral Lake, in that little house there where you do the quest with the water elemental bracers. Here in that little like house or whatever that is there, there is a woman that I don't remember her name, but she sells the book there. And the other guy is actually like, I think his name is like old guy Hemmings or whatever. I don't remember exactly his name. He's in Booty Bay, and you go there and buy the fishing book there. But also while you're at it, while you're in Booty Bay, I noticed on my when I noted, you know, what's gonna be the journey like, I noted that at some point I will have to go to Booty Bay to buy a book that allows me to cook a particular kind of fish, which is this fish here, the filet of red gill, when I'm gonna be like 225. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm already here, I'm already in Booty Bay, I'm already doing that thing and like whatever. So it's kind of like, might as well just buy it now. So I took like screenshots and everything of all of this on this journey. And obviously when it's going to be on the like the step-by-step guide that I'm going to be putting out there of how to level your fishing the way I'm doing it right now, I'm going to put it, all this information is going to be there so you can really follow it, you know, like to the letter, to be like, go there, do that, buy this, buy that. And the more optimal I can make the guide of like the least amount of back and forth possible. Like if you're already in Booty Bay and have to come back later, might as well just do everything you can there while you're at it, you know? So that was my thought. And today, this part of the fishing journey brings us to Stormguard Keep. So the next step is here in these lakes of Stormguard, we're gonna get it, chat. Stormguard Keep. We can just get here and we would fish here. We are looking for a fish called, let me look it up. We are looking for a fish called mithril head trout. And the mithril head trout, oh, actually I could cook that. The mithril head trout requires 165 to cook. It's one of the recipe that we bought in South Shore, if I remember correctly. So we would we're gonna fish about 100 of them. So our goal is to bring here, only by being here, we need to bring our fishing all the way to 225. So we're fishing here until we're 225. And that should give us about 100 mithril-headed trout. With these 100 we're going to cook them all, and we're going to increase our cooking all the way to 225. And I think that's going to be everything we're going to be able to do today. Because the next step of the process, when you reach 225 in cooking and 225 in fishing, in order to continue increasing to 300, you actually need to do quests. There's one quest that is just bringing a bunch of, like, you need to book like zesty clam meats, giant eggs, and Alterac Swiss to Goblin and Gadgetzan, which is going to teach you all the way to level 300 cooking. But you also need to do the Nat Pagel quest line that is in Dustwallow Marsh. So you do the Nat Pagel fishing quest line, which requires you to fish 4 fishes that are spread all over the world. I think there's like one in STV, one in Feralis, one in I don't remember. I think there's one in Hinterlands as well, and one in Swamp of Sorrows. I think these are the 4 locations. But like, so doing that quest is like a lot of running around, whatever. And since we only have an hour and a half on stream, I'm not going to be doing it tonight. Most likely it's going to be tomorrow. So today what we're going to do is just concentrate on fishing, getting our fishing to 225. And which would allow us to also have our cooking increased all the way to 225 as well. With the 100 trouts we will like to fish. So we're going to start as usual, you know, putting our, we always want to make sure that we take our night crawlers and we apply it to our big iron fishing pole. Big Iron Fish Plus already gives us plus 20 fishing, and now we're gonna add another 50, which makes us have, you know, all the way like plus like 70 more fishing just by these things, which would make the fishing journey a lot easier. And then we fish. Look at that, 2 feet in the water. And here we go, the journey starts. I wonder if because we're fishing in a different pond that is actually like, you know, way higher in terms of the like level and the fishes we're gonna get or whatever. I wonder if it's actually going to give me a I wonder if it's gonna give me a like 1 skill every single time, or is it gonna be like last time, it's gonna take like 2 to 3. Thank you, Enthusiastic, for the raid. I really appreciate that. How was your stream? And thank you for the viewers, I really appreciate it. So for those who just joined, who has never been on my stream before, what we're doing is I recently started playing Classic WoW again, and leveled this guy not too long ago. But of all, hey dude, thanks for the raid, I really appreciate it. So what's happening is that I've never leveled fishing. I've played WoW for 15 years and I've never ever leveled fishing ever. So what we're doing is we are doing a 0 to 300 blitz of fishing before TBC comes out. And we're hoping to take maybe some of the footage of that stream and make like a guide online to be for people to just rush to 300 fishing before TBC comes out. So that's pretty much where we're going on. So yeah, I'm happy to hear you had a good stream. So yeah, so right now it's like you know, pretty chill stream with some chill music in the background, fishing stuff, pretty relaxing. Trying to talk a little bit about myself as well, like, you know, where I come from. But what about you, Enthusiastic Panda? What's your gig? You also a Classic WoW streamer? Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Do you like, and thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. So, talk to me about your stream. I'd like to learn more about it, man. That seems very interesting. Do you do like, are you doing like fishing stream recently, or are you kind of like a dedicated fishing streamer kind of thing? And welcome to your viewers as well. I play casting, but I just stream retail. Oh, okay, awesome. I'm a fishing streamer in retail. Like, how does that work? Like, do you just like kind of like do exactly what I'm doing right now, but just like all the time? You kind of like do, I don't know, like little tricks or something for people to help level their fishing? Is that what's going on? Educate me. And honestly, I feel like probably having people do fishing in retail is probably even more rare than people do it in Classic. Because in Classic, you actually like still get a lot of benefits from fishing for like, you know, food buffs and stuff for raid, whatever. But I don't even know how fishing is still used in retail. Is it like, do you still get stuff like food buffs and like where you need for raids? Is there any benefits to fishing outside of just like, you know, having your like self honor to know that like you're you have level fishing to 300 to like max and other people don't? Fishing in the zone that drops a mount by the name of Great Sea Ray. Oh, I see. So it's kind of like, it's a mix, I guess, of like fishing but also mount farming at the same time. That's pretty dope. Is it like is it a BOE mount? Is it something you can like sell and make money off of it? Or is it something like when you equip it, it's buy on equip and you're just done, you just don't have it yet? That's the thing sometimes I kind of miss from, you know, like my retail guy. Like I don't play, I don't have time to do in a month that you can sell it for 100k play. Oh, damn. That's good. I see why you're doing it. Have you managed to get a few and sell a few so far? So right now, for those who are wondering, we're at 131 fishing, and our goal is again to get to 225. And when we'll get to 225, we should have about 100 trouts, and then we cook the trouts to get our cooking all the way to 225 as well. So we're just started with the fishing part. Like we're still on the low end. Wow, look at that! Actually, like the rain just stopped and in Oxford, yeah. So have you managed to get a few on your own and sold them, like on the auction house, whatever, or have you yet to be able to fish one? Like, look at that, the rain stopped. And now that the rain stopped, like the moon, a huge moon is out, super clear sky, and like all that stuff is actually so peaceful and calming. I really love it. Ooh, damn. Like, how is it? Why do I feel like selling it for 100k if it's that rare is actually super low? I don't know, I feel like if it's 0.3% chance and it's a fishing one too, which a lot of people don't do fishing in my, like from what I remember, like how come it doesn't sell for more? That's kind of weird. Or maybe it's just your server or something, I don't know. That's true. Man, I'm so excited to actually, like, you know, like whenever you'll actually have, oh yeah, 0 mounts. Yeah, that's a classic. I mean, at 0.3%, like that takes dedication, my man. But I can't wait. Whenever you get the mount, okay, clip your reaction and send it to me. Okay, I want to see that. I want to see like your reaction, like how you're gonna like explode or something, whatever, when you're gonna get the mount. I really want to see that. Yeah, I was saying earlier that like I stopped playing retail at the end of BFA pretty much because I'm a PvPer. I do arena. I went to like 2.4k in arena and like whatever, and with my friend, and then like I just stopped playing and whatnot. And but like in classic WoW, I prefer the gameplay of classic WoW, but there's no PvP. I hate classic WoW PvP. And then TBC's coming out, so now I'm able to do arena while having the classic gameplay. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, and I'm super pumped and excited and whatever. But like sometimes I just miss my retail character for, you know, stuff like I had such cool transmog. I play priest. I'm a priest main. I had such cool transmog, and I had really cool mounts. You know, like I had like the asses of Alar and all of that stuff. And I had like, I never got invincible, you know, in so long. But I don't know. It's just like. Yeah, like what you're talking about, this kind of like mount farming and like, you know, whatever, and like getting these rares and these really cool pieces of gear and transmogs, and then like it's a part of the game I actually really like every month, and not every month, every week I would do like my dedicated like transmog runs and hopefully get some mounts and stuff, and like that you don't have that in classic. Maybe, I don't know if there's some of that in TBC. Do you actually know? Do you have any ideas if there's like good like kind of like mount farming stuff like whatever for TBC? Ooh, yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. 300, 400k gold. Based on the rarity you described earlier, like I think that sounds accurate to me. So when you play on when you play on Classic WoW, what do you do on Classic WoW? I kind of seem to understand that you don't stream the Classic part, you only stream the retail part. But when you play Classic, what do you do? Are you on? I'm on Faralina right now. Are you on Faralina as well? Oops. Fingers on the wrong key. Kind of cool that, like, obviously, as I've mentioned earlier, I've never fished, you know, like before, but never fished before. But it's kind of cool that, like obviously, it's not like a thing like we compete, you know, like for loot or something. We can all do it like on our own. Like, there's so much competition for tags and loot and stuff in Classic that to be able to be in a space where you don't compete for the resource is actually kind of cool. Wow, 12k tries and still not dropping? Man, that's crazy. Like, my cool mage ready for TBC, that's what I'm talking about. You doing all that mage gold farming nonsense, or is that not your gig? Oh, you play on EU? So which country are you from? Or are you just playing on EU servers but you're located in like North America or elsewhere? I like your name, by the way. I know if you've like if you notice, and by the way, just so you know, let me like if you write like exclamation info in the chat, I have a command that's like to my YouTube channel, because I'm kind of doing a mix of like obviously Twitch and YouTube, but like that the link that you just saw is actually an introduction video to kind of like what I want to do like with my channels and like whatever. But like I do like to farm herbs, I like to fish too. That's kind of cool. So you're kind of like a farmer. You like doing that stuff. I like that. I respect that. That's really cool. Yeah, like I'm doing my PhD in Canada. I was born in Quebec, but I'm doing my PhD in Canada, in Toronto right now. And like my field of expertise is I do like the history of philosophy, pretty much is what I study. But my specialty is in classical Japan and like China as well. So I'm like, the channel and stuff that I do is all, it has like this kind of like Japanese and East Asian aesthetic, and I'm gonna talk about kind of like East Asian culture and philosophy and history and like all of that stuff. So obviously, like, I can't help it, but when I see your name and I see Enthusiastic Panda, I'm just like, hey, you know, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a connection, an unexplained or unadmitted love for pandas is oftentimes translated to a connection with some kind of love for East Asian culture. Not always, obviously, but a lot of people have this connection in their head, so please let me know if you do. But yeah, man, where are you from? I agree. Like when you get your cool like farming spots and like you can do it in a really cool and chill way and like relax, and then you get to sell your stuff and like, you know, I like that. I really agree. I used to play shaman on private servers, and then I played druid a while to just try different things outside of like being a priest, and I really loved it. Druid is my favorite class in vanilla WoW. And all I was doing to gold farm was just DM East jump runs. And it's not necessarily like, at some point when you get the gist of it, the run becomes very like easy and chill and cool and like whatever. But in both of these guys, I was herbalist, and I would just keep running the DM East and farming the herbs there, and then you could like always sell like the Dream Foil and the Grum's Blood and everything like online. And it's yeah, like it's just, if you can do it, I don't know if that's what you were doing as well, you just do it in the open world, but for me doing it that way was also like outside of like world PvP and ganking and all of that stuff. It was just like me alone in the dungeon doing my runs, doing my pulls, doing my things, and eventually, you know, it would just get me what I needed. That's a tricky question. So I grew up watching stuff like Dragon Ball and stuff, like most people do. Look at that, everything are like read by one another. I grew up watching Dragon Ball without understanding. When I was a kid, I didn't understand that was like Japanese anime, you know. But it was when I got into university. I got into university because I was fascinated by Japanese culture, specifically like Japanese history, more specifically. So I wanted to learn about Japanese history, and eventually with people around me, everyone in the program that I was in, which was Asian Studies, everybody in my program, everybody was there because they loved anime. And I was kind of like what's anime? You know, like that was, I just really wasn't into that kind of stuff. So a lot of people made me watch anime, like they kind of, oh, look at that, you're gonna like this, you should watch this, and like whatever. So I've ended up watching a few anime, and I like that, but I'm really not like a huge anime fan by any means. I haven't watched the big stuff, I guess. Like there's an anime that I love that is called like, I think it's called Shigurui, which is like a really messed up like samurai anime. But I like Attack on Titans is absolutely fantastic. Everybody kind of like knows that, but I wouldn't be able to name you like a shit ton of anime. I'm very basic knowledge of it, and yeah, so it's not like I don't appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, but like if I would have time for myself to do something, watching anime is most likely not what I'm gonna do, except if it's something that really gets me hooked and is very, I don't know, like has a lot of strength, like Attack on Titans or something, then maybe. But I don't go out of my way to find new ones and whatnot. So yeah, and then one of the rare breed of people that loves Japanese culture and all that stuff, but not necessarily Japanese anime. I hate Dragon Ball for some reason. I mean, it's a style that, like, you know, it's like what? It's like people yelling all the time, and like I know like there are people that like, there are people that I know that like anime, but they don't like anime that like of people that just yell all the time and whatever, and they just fucking can't stand Dragon Ball. They just cannot stand Dragon Ball. It's like the only thing they do is just yell. They just can't talk, and it's always like weird, and I kind of get it. I like it because like not a lot of people know, but like in the way that like Dragon Ball is constructed, the real story behind Dragon Ball comes from a novel that was written in China, like initially, and then it evolved to become its own thing. But all of the, you know, like the martial arts is based on Tai Chi and Tai Chi and Kung Fu, obviously. But a lot of like the moves and what they do and the principles, like Chi is a principle that's like, you know, it's like a principle that's always there in like East Asian philosophy. It's like this like life energy and flow like between things and like whatever. So like, you know, mastering your chi and increasing your chi and Kamehameha is basically you just exhale that chi like outside of yourself and like all that stuff, which is connected with some East Asian martial arts like Qigong and Tai Chi and whatever. But the stories behind it, the philosophy and like whatever is embedded in Taoism a lot. So it's cool to watch it from a standpoint of like, when you have all of this like cultural anchor points and philosophical knowledge and like all that stuff like I do, because that's what I do for a living, that's what I'm writing my dissertation on. It's like when you watch this anime, you don't see it just for the like the entertainment part. You also see the kind of educational component and the historical influences. And Dragon Ball actually has a lot of that, which makes it really interesting for me. But it's a style of anime that is, I guess, really not suited to everyone. So are you a fan of anime? If so, what kind of anime do you like? Let's say Attack on Titan is great. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's watched Attack on Titans and didn't like fell in love with it, except for my fiance. But it's for a different reason. It's for personal reasons. So, like, but outside of her, I don't think I know anyone that didn't like Attack on Titans. But is anime your gig? Do you like watching anime? What kind of anime do you like to watch? And by the way, chat, we're keeping track. We're at 24 trouts. 24 mithril head trouts. And we are at 40. Damn, that really didn't increase. We started the stream, what 127? And now we're only at 140. That's low. Oh, wait, let me reapply. I forgot to reapply my my night crawlers to my... Yeah, there was a point where like I knew, like there was a point that I was kind of like, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to level fishing before TBC. And when that happened, and I ran all these like, you know, Skulloments and Stratholme and all of that stuff, I actually saved all of my night crawlers because I knew I would have to be using them for fishing. So I'm kind of happy I did that. What rank is Corporal? Rank 2. Okay, so she's the same rank as me. I was about to be pissed. I was kind of like, she's Corporal and like she's on level 43 and I'm like, what? Like I'm Corporal and I'm level 60, but I thought Corporal was higher than what I was, so. I'm a little shy, so I stream without camera. I just want to go sauna and fish for chilling. That's cool. That's okay. I mean, dude, you do you, and like people, like, you know, people like that. People like chill stream, relaxed, you know, like just going there, putting some music, something really, I don't know, like there's an audience for everything in streaming, right? So there's no right way to do it. You do you use your creativity to do something that's meaningful to you, and you know, no shame whatsoever. Gintama. Oh, I've heard about Gintama. I've heard about that. I've watched Full Metal Alchemist. I actually really like Full Metal Alchemist. So I guess you and I kind of like seem to have quite relatively similar tastes for anime. Let me ask you something. What got you into anime? How did you learn about it? What was the first anime you watched? What got you interested to learn more about anime? Like what, just how did it happen for you to get into that world? And by the way, I say you, but I'm not exclusively talking to like Enthusiastic Panda, right? If there's anybody out there of you folks that are either like, you know, have their opinion about anime, whether you like it, you hate it, or whatever, and you want to participate. When I say you, I mean you in the plural way, not exclusively to Enthusiastic Panda. So if you're feeling comfortable, you can just sit there and chill if you want. But if you're feeling comfortable and you would like to just say hi, tell me a little bit about yourself, you're more than welcome. Again, no obligation, but you're more than welcome. I love this song. What's it called? An Unlikely Alliance by Abstraction. I like that. I feel like it fits with the vibe you were talking about, right? Of just like without camera, good songs, and fish with chilling environment. I'm not quite sure what's happening. I think that there's I've seen a few messages that like my the bit rates and stuff might have been low, so I don't know if the stream was like laggy or something, but ooh, we got a 22-pound catfish as a Hoffman. You could we can just run around and start slapping people with our fish. Also, like I did a test last time. I know probably the viewers that are here right now from Enthusiastic Panda's raid probably didn't see that before, but when I was fishing in Elowin Forest to start this journey that I'm on of going all the way to 300, I fished a few of these offends, and they range all the way from like 10-pound fish, and then I had like 12-pound fish and 15-pound fish, and yesterday we had oh, sorry, yeah, there's a word limit on the... Sorry, Enthusiastic Panda, there's a word limit on the, like, that is, like, installed by my moderator. So if you can't just split your message in segments. I'm not sure quite I think the character maximum might be something like either like 200, I'm not sure, but like try splitting it in segment and sending it separately. That way I'll be able to see your whole message. Yeah, I set it up because I didn't want people to just like come in and just like spam, you know, like these bunch of like really long messages and whatnot. So yeah, what I was saying was that, like, there was all these fishes that I just kept fishing that were like at different sizes, and I just kept equipping them to see if, you know, like just like what they looked and like whatever. But one thing that I've noticed is that the size actually doesn't change. So in my offend right now, I have a 22-pound fish, as we can see, 22-pound fish, but like 22-pound fish, if I would equip the 10-pound fish that I also fished like 2 days ago, it would be the exact same size, just a different color. So for some weird reason, Blizzard did not think it would be relevant to adjust the size of the fish depending on its weight, which I think is kind of funny. I get it. I get the thing about, you know, like it's a fantasy game, you know, like everything is not like following the rules of logic in a world of like magic, fairies, and dragons. I get it, but you know, there's these little things that I like to think about sometimes because of my messed up mind. I like to notice these things and talk about it. Oh, I did an MC earlier. I got into a Molten Core, like, I got into a Molten Core raid earlier. It was so bad. Like, oh my god, it was... We didn't even kill Baron. Like, that's to tell you how bad it is. Like, we're, like, in Phase 6, we had, like, you know, Tier 3 people geared in there, like, left and right. Most of the people were on the gear, particularly healers. There was only one that was, like, Tier 3 Priest. But... oh my god, the run was so painful, and it was like these small things that, you know, that like people either weren't paying attention or weren't caring enough because it's just an MC and people are like way over it now and stuff. But it's like I would buff a party with Prayer Word Fortitude, which would like buff their entire party with like, you know, 70 stam for 1 hour. So I would use one Kendall to do this one buff on one party, and then I would see another priest that was in there, buff the exact same party that I just buffed. And then I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna buff the other party. And then I buffed the other party, and then they did the same thing. And it was like that the entire time. The entire run, people would just, instead of just buffing the parties I haven't buffed, they just ended up buffing the stuff that I had buffed, and then I had to buff the entirety of the whole raid until they then rebuffed the same buffs I just did over them all over again. So I wasted all of my candles. I started the run with 40 candles, and I ended the run with 10. Because we kept wiping, we had to rebuff, and every time I would be like, okay, I'm gonna take initiative and I'm not gonna wait for people to ask, I'm just gonna buff them up, then people will just rebuff the same thing over. I was like, don't you just pay attention to see that the buff is already there? Like, before I buff the thing, before I buff another group, I always look if the buff is already there so that I know what I'm buffing. You know, I know if they need it and whatever. So I don't know, it was just to tell you kind of like a feeling of like the group that they just kind of like didn't pay attention, I guess, that much, and it led to a lot of wipes, and eventually we just disbanded, and I didn't get anything. The one drop, the head for, well, right now I'm just wearing fishing gear just because I think I look dope with I think I look badass with my pink shirt and my Admiral hat. But okay, I was saying that I was speaking with a friend about some types of games and series. All right. And he said to try to watch Naruto or Death Note, classic. Every time I had someone recommend me to watch an anime, like when I told them I don't know anime, and they recommended me, they either said Naruto, Death Note, or Full Metal Alchemist. These are the three that people have told me. So I started to watch that animes and start to like that style. Yep, sounds about right. By the way, if you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to answer, obviously. You know, I'm not pushing anything, but like, are you still friend with that person? Is that person still in your life? Because it's really cool if you have like, you know, like a friend in your entourage that you have like, you know, like if you're both into anime, you both like that style, whatever, like it's kind of cool to have, you know, like just people around that like share the similar passion and interests that you can exchange with. So I think it's really cool. All right, chat. We are at 34 trouts. 34 trouts. We need about 100. About 100. Well, 146 fishing. So we're not leaving the spot basically until we're 225. So we're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be here for a while, but we're in good company. So. It's cool to watch, and it's just 20 minutes. So I agree, absolutely agree. And I feel like, I don't know about you, but like, you know, having played WoW, you know, basically most of my childhood until like all the way up to now, and playing so many different video games, I'm very much into like the fantasy genre, and I like, you know, I like you know, escaping into these different worlds, and particularly stuff about like, you know, like magic and stuff like that in general, or like, you know, kind of Full Metal Alchemist world that has a lot of like, you know, logic defying things happening in it. And I feel like it's very easy to create these worlds into anime, because you can create really beautiful, super creative, like artistic worlds full of whatever you want to put in it, and you don't need to have this kind of like really intense like CGI from like a series that we have to pay for like special effects, and it costs so much and like all that stuff. I feel like with anime you can create that different world, different experience, different whatever, without necessarily having to worry about like the money part as much, I guess. And I feel like there's way more of that that's available, and I really like that. That's one of the part that I like about anime, is I feel like the creativity behind it is oftentimes, you have way, in my mind, I just see that there's like more creativity of this kind in anime that you find in like TV series. Well, a lot of TV series, at least the one that tends to play in Canada in general, tend to be very much like, they're either like police series, and you have these kind of like doctor show, or like dramas, and like, I don't know, it just, you don't have a lot of, like, I don't know, a kind of like Full Metal Alchemist kind of like series, or Dragon Ball kind of series that would come up as like not an anime. That's the thing that I like a lot of the reason why, the stuff that I study, like studying Asian culture and philosophy, whatever, but I'm an expert in ancient cultures. So I studied Japan for my dissertation, for example. I translate, because I speak Japanese, but I read ancient Japanese, and I translate works of... sorry, it blocked again. It blocked the message again. Sorry, I don't recall what's the character limit that I put. I need to check it up and maybe increase it a little bit. I'm sorry that you're kind of like the lab rat for that, but you're making me see right now that I think I need to increase the character length of the messages, so that doesn't happen too often. I'm sorry it landed on you. But yeah, I was saying that I'm fascinated by ancient cultures, and right now for my dissertation I'm translating classical Japanese work into like modern stuff, and like, for me, what's really cool about it is this, like, imagining, to be able to just sit back, like, keep in mind, I'm a philosopher, right? Like, it's to be able to just imagine a different world. Like, the world we live in is a messed up world that's full of, like, like white supremacist, patriarchal, ableist, sexist, racist institutions. And it's like, that is fostered by this like neoliberal capitalist ideology that destroys, like the environment and blah 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 and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm not gonna go too much into that right now, except if you want to discuss it, obviously. And it's like, just being able to be like, we lived in a very, in my mind, we lived in a very kind of like fucked up world. And then it's like, what would it look like to be in a different world? Like, how could we imagine a different possibility, like, for the future? Like, when you think about the future, what could that look like? What would like, what kind of, how would people live? How would people think, and like whatever? And for me, when I go back, like literally, like 800 years, because the works I'm translating right now, I'm studying works that have been written between 1000 and 1300 in Japan. So it's literally like, like 800 years old. Like, people at that time, they were living in a different world. Like, their way to see and understand the world was completely different than the way we do right now. Like, they wouldn't understand, like, what a car is. And if you try to explain to them, like, computer or social media, they'd be completely oblivious to that, because they just lived in a different reality. It was the same planet, but their understanding of the world was radically, completely different than us. And I think it's really cool to be able to kind of like project ourselves into the mind of another person that sees the world in a completely different way. And I think that, like, so to be in a different world, like in World of Warcraft or in anime, like, I'm thinking something around the lines of, like, I don't know, like fairy tale or like whatever, like just to be in this different world and to see what could that look like? What are the different possibilities? And, why is that world impossible or possible right now or in the future? I think this thing of just being transported into a different place that is different than what we know in the modern, 2020 world is, I love that. I live for that. This is why I'm studying what I'm studying. And I think that anime tends to do a really better job at giving you this feeling than a lot of like TV series do, because a lot of the TV series, at least the one that are popular, tend to be focused on the right now, the present, the current world, and you know, like all of that stuff. So it doesn't really transport you into this different place that opens up your mind to new possibilities. So we're at 42 fishes and our skills at 151. So we're slowly getting there. We're still a long way. I don't think, looking at the pace that it's going right now, I doubt that we'll be able to reach our 225 tonight. Because the stream ends at 12 EST. I don't know what it's gonna be for you, you know, Enthusiastic Panda. I don't know what that's gonna be for you in EU, but basically in 35 minutes is the end of my stream. Thank you, I appreciate that. Listen, you're more than welcome here anytime that you want to chat about that stuff. I would really like to continue talking about that stuff with you. I think it's, you know, you know, like part of the reason why I'm doing my PhD and like whatever, it's because I'd like to become a prof at university, because it's like, I just like talking about that stuff. I like exchanging ideas. I like discussing, you know, things, experiences, different possibilities and interests and stuff, you know. So the teaching and conversation component is you know, it's basically what I would like my life to be about. And like I said, if you !info in the chat, you have like a link to and the introduction to a YouTube channel that I'm starting, and on that YouTube is what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to have a space where it's going to be WoW gameplay, classic WoW gameplay of like gameplay footage. When TBC is gonna come out, I'm gonna do like guides and all of that stuff. But it's also like an educational channel. Like it's right now I'm writing. I'm a huge. I cannot emphasize it enough. I'm a huge tea geek. I know pretty much everything you can think of about tea. And I just today I was writing the script about a kind of like introduction to tea, but it's kind of like, it's gonna be a packed video, probably something like a 30-minute video. I'm gonna talk about like its history, its mythological origins, like the story of its mythology of its story of its origin. I'm gonna talk about the different ways to do tea, different ways to brew your tea, the different literature that's been written over time. Like the first book on tea ever was written in like 762 kind of thing. So it's gonna be a basic information about tea, how it's done, and like whatever, and how it played a role in, you know, like East Asian cultures and whatnot. So I'm already writing the script of that, and I'm probably gonna try to do it and upload it on YouTube maybe within the few weeks. So if you want, like you said, to just like learn about other cultures, but learn about specifically like East Asian cultures, their philosophy, their history, and like whatever, like I'm gonna be like slowly but surely I'm gonna be uploading content on there to stuff that is going to be educational videos on that. So if you're interested and you want to look it up, or just also look at, you know, classic stuff, you're more than welcome. Yeah, I really recommend for you to visit Japan. Like I lived in Japan for a bit, and I can tell you that like there's people that I know that have, like, they had no interest going to Japan in their life. Like, for example, my parents' friends are, you know, they have like a lot of money and like whatever, and their thing about life is traveling, and they want to go like all over the world kind of thing. And they, at some point, they were kind of like, okay, we've pretty much been anywhere. We've been so many things. We've done so many stuff. So we never really thought about going there before. So let's just go to Japan and just try it out. You know, they didn't particularly have any interest or passion or anything, and like whatever. And when they came back, they were just like, dude, of all the places we've been in the world, Japan is like by far one of our favorite. Like like by far up there, and they've done a bunch of stuff, like a lot, like lots of stuff. And when they go travel, they go freaking all out. That they don't travel, you know, like El Cheapo like me, of just, you know, like going to places with no money and you know, like trying to just do whatever the best you can with like literally no money, right? So it's kind of like they went all out in their travels and they absolutely love Japan. And honestly, I'm using them as an example, but I have never known one person that came back from traveling to Japan that did not say like, this guy's gonna attack me, you wanna bet? I never had one person tell me, oh, I hated Japan, I didn't like it. Most people really, they actually fell in love with the country. It doesn't mean people will be ready to like move there, but every single person that I know that stepped foot in Japan came back in love with the country. So if you have the chance to do it, I highly recommend it. If you want advices, you know, of places to go and you know, ways maybe to make your trip cheaper if you're into that, and like whatever, or more expensive, whatever you suit, just, you know, hop on here, ask your question, and I'll recommend places, you know. Do you know the YouTube channel called Paolo in Tokyo? I don't actually. Talk to me about it. What's the channel about? I'm guessing it's a guy named Paolo that lives in Tokyo and probably just kind of like films his everyday life or something. Am I close to it? He does some video about a day in the life of a Japanese, so it's a very cool thing. That's awesome. Is he Japanese himself? Or like descendant of Japanese, like, you know, like Brazilian person that had like Japanese descendancy? Is that the word? Ancestry. It's something I wish I would have been more into kind of like this kind of content. And when I lived in Japan, streaming was not a thing, you know. And you know, obviously there were like YouTube videos and like all that stuff, but it's not like what it is right now and at the point that I'm in my life. So I wish that when I was there that I would have like taking the time to do stuff like that, because there's a huge interest of people, you know, that are kind of like about talking about like just daily life in Japan and film these daily things and stuff. And they're very popular channels most of the time. So it's about some different people in different professions, like a firefighter, casino workers. Oh, that's so interesting. Actually, that's different than what I would say most channels that I see about life in Japan tends to have a very similar vibe. But that seems very interesting. That's cool. So is he kind of like, I'm saying he, I assume, because Paolo tends to be a masculine name, but it could be a she or a they. So correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying he. Maybe I'm just assuming wrong, but so is the person conducting interviews, like going to like a firefighter and be like, hey, like is it like interview format, or is it more like kind of like walking in the street, or just him doing his own research and then talking about it or something like? Because that's a very cool idea. I actually really like that. It's very different. A different take on exposing kind of like Japan to the rest of the world by talking to like workers of different fields and let them explain their life. You know, I like that. It's putting powers back into the hand of the workers to explain their own experiences. I like that. We're at 157. So we got 30 skills since we started, pretty much. We started at 127, and now, yeah, so 30 skills, and we still have a long way to go. We still have a long way to go. I really didn't expect that eventually the fishing stuff would, like, I did like 0 to 75 in like one night, and I was kind of like, geez, this is gonna be a breeze, you know, like it's gonna be so, like, you know, it's gonna be so easy to get it all the way to 300. And since I got to 75, then it's been taking a lot longer than I thought. So he literally films a day at work from that person. Ooh, and that's some question that people want to know. That's so awesome. I'm gonna look that up. I'm definitely going to look that up. I think that's a very, very cool concept. I really like that. Do you have a YouTube channel yourself? Is very famous. Okay, I'll definitely look it up. I'm not like, unfortunately, I'm kind of like, and it's kind of funny because I'm really kind of like launching myself, I guess, on like social media and like whatever, like on the YouTube and Twitch and like all of that stuff. But in general, I'm not like, I'm not a social media person, like, at all. So it's kind of new to me, and I need to get into this world more. I need to like put myself out there more than I do, like, you know, like whatnot. But so yeah, like I'm not super knowledgeable in, like, you know, like channels and peoples and names and what's popular right now and like whatever. But what the way you're describing it to me seems like actually really, really cool. Like he would be the kind of, again, I assume it's he. That would be the kind of channel that I'd be very interested in watching. There's one that you might like, actually, if you know, oh, actually you might like that. It's let me look it up to make sure that I don't give you like wrong information. But sometimes I watch that, like, you know, like in the morning while I eat breakfast, just to kind of like start my day in a chill way or something like that. But there is a woman. Her name is, well, the name of her channel is Anna Film Production. So let me like type that in the chat. So Anna Film Production, and her entire YouTube channel is a Filipino American but lives in Japan. He's married with a Japanese. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So yeah, he speaks very good Japanese. Yeah, I mean, living in Japan, being married to a Japanese or like whatever, and being in the kind of like you know, like sphere of influence, you know, of like you know, like of the South Asia and like East Asia and like whatever, I'm not surprised that he's probably exposed to like Japanese culture like a lot more than like a lot of, generally speaking, like Canada and Europe is, except for people that really like it. So yeah, that's so awesome. It's like the, yeah, so like the Anna Film Production channel that I'm talking to you, it's literally, it's a woman that she has like you never see her. The entirety of her channel is she just goes into places that people want to see. So like famous places, famous cities. Sometimes she goes into like the mountains, she goes to a river and like whatever, and she just has this kind of like camera gear with this you know, like the thing, so she just walks around basically. She puts chill music, relaxing music, and she just walks around and just films whatever she sees. So it'd be just walking in the middle of a city, but it doesn't have to be a big city. Oftentimes she does more like rural areas, small villages, mountains, temples and stuff like that. So it tends to be very much kind of like non-crowded, more like old school nature kind of area. And she has this gear that it's like, I'm guessing she has this gear, or else she's just a very good filmmaker that like, you know, it's like she walks around, but the camera never bops. It just feels like she is just like smooth sailing like all the time, and it's very beautifully filmed. It's like slow pace with very soothing music, and it's just walk in or walk into Japan, like in these really old areas with like that very calming music and nothing more. It's just that there's no voice, there's no visitors, no nothing. It's just walking through Japan basically with her, and chill music is just so calming. I think You know, you were talking about liking doing these, like, you know, streaming like a chill fishing, you know, like chill music and relax, no camera, no nothing, just like, you know, environment. I think that these would be videos that would probably suits your fancy very much. You should check that out. And if you do, then come back and tell me what you think about it. And I've heard so many people tell me this in a sometimes in a way that you're not really sure if it's like in a good or in a mean way kind of thing. But please, like, I'm gonna ask you something. It's gonna be in the most like nicest way possible, because I've been asked this question so long and I don't want it to sound like it's in the mean way. But like, you seem to be very much into Japanese culture. From the, like, you seem to have a lot of knowledge and interest into looking at the, you know, like videos about it, and the you know, the Paolo video and stuff like that, and learning more about Japanese life. Is it have you studied a little bit? Like, for example, have you tried to learn Japanese language on your own? Have you tried to do like anything on your own to outside of just travel and looking at videos? Have you, you know, do anything to try to get you yourself closer to Japan? I saw a channel the other day where a person walked around places in Japan at night. Oh, that could be interesting, while raining and stuff like that. Ooh, that must be really cool. Do you know what's the name of that channel? Yeah, oh, I love these, the aesthetic of, like, you know, like nighttime rain with, like, you know, just lights. It doesn't have to be lots of lights, but just like lights that is kind of like, the light comes at you, but it's kind of like haloed and not very clear because it's filtered through the water drops as it falls. And this kind of aesthetic with like the ground that's covered in water, that kind of like the cement, the asphalt that's covered in water, that kind of acts a little bit like a mirror, right? And it's like that really shiny, like full of lights aesthetic filtered to water all the time. Like, this looks like either in painting or in like graphic designs, like, you know, like a computer background, like a wallpaper or something like that, or even in video games. I love that. I love that aesthetic so much. So seeing that guy like walk at night while it's raining and stuff, and like, ooh, that's you've hit a sensitive spot here, my friend. What I think I need to give you, tell me when you're ready to send the link and I'm gonna give you permission. Sorry, failed. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, I gave you permission. I give you permission, so try to link it, see if it works. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, I'm watching the video right now. Ooh. See, like what you're showing, I don't know. I don't have the sound on right now because of, like, you know, like the stream and like whatever, and I don't want to like get copyrighted or something. But like looking at the feeling of the stream and everything you just explained, it seems exactly like the channel I was talking to you about, like the Anna film production lady. She does the same thing, but it would be like, you know, like during daytime, or usually I think it's very early in the morning that she goes on her walk when like nobody's outside, there's not a lot of people and like whatever, and it's very calm and soothing. But it has this similar vibe that you just talked about, without like the rain and at night. But yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I'm definitely gonna look some of these stuff up. Yeah, it is. It is. It's obviously it's different. It is different depending on gender. Obviously, there's a lot of there's like sexism is very strong in Japan, and it's still very prominent, unfortunately. But it's like that everywhere, obviously. But Japan is not doing good in this kind of stuff, and there's a lot of cases of like, like having a kind of like culture institution that protects, like men that are doing, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like literally, for example, like sexual harassment or forms of sexual assault are like still somewhat common, but they're not always reported because there's not a culture of that. And like, anyway, so it's not like, it is way safer than a lot of places in the world, but there is still like so many cases of hearing, for example, women being on trains at night, and then you just have this man that's just kind of like, when the trains are really packed, and you would have like a man that would just like grope her and like whatever, and like in the middle of the train and like whatever. And like these kind of episodes are still like somewhat prominent. So it's not like, it's true. It is very true. And I can attest to that. I've seen things in Japan that I've never seen before, like wallets, like I literally, someone dropped their cell phone on the, when I was there, like someone dropped a cell phone like on the, like literally on the ground, like on the, there was like a building, and people, when they were exiting the parking lot, there was a cell phone there. And instead of taking the phone and either call the person and try to like whatever, what they did, they literally taped the phone on the ground, put a shit ton of post-it around it, like these like yellow flashy like highlighter yellow post-its like all around it, like flashy piece of paper. And then they just wrote like, oh, found the cell phone, don't write on it, whatever. Like here, like you would find a cell phone on the ground, like in most places that I know of. And like either the cell phone would just completely disappear, or the person would leave with the cell phone. But in Japan, there's very much that culture of like, when there's these things like for stealing, it's very, very, very low crime rate for things like stealing, for example. And there are I could go into the kind of like cultural, philosophical reasons why this is the case. At least one of the reasons why it is the case. But it is true. And like, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I can attest that it is true that it's a lot safer and a lot of things for a lot of stuff. But it is also very like gender dependent. You're still as a woman, and I know many Japanese women who told me so, as a woman walking alone at night in Japan, you're still gonna feel uncomfortable, even though it is Japan and the crime rate is low. So again, you don't have to share, but if you are a woman and you go to Japan, it's still somewhat something to consider. But if you're men walking alone at night in Japan and like all that stuff, like many other places in the world that is dominated by patriarchal culture, you will feel safe and invincible. And Japan is no exception to that. Yeah, I've had examples, for example, of like, okay, no problem, man. It's, you have your schedule, you have your own thing. Don't worry about it. But thank you. I really had a good conversation too. And listen, you're more than welcome to pop on stream anytime. And you want to share with the stream, like, what's your streaming schedule? If people want to just come and chill and like look at you fishing on stream and like whatever. And I'll definitely pop by and say hi. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the raid. Thanks for the follow. I'm so glad we got to meet. And you're more than welcome anytime. And again, if before you leave, you want to share your schedule when you're usually on for other viewers to pop by and say hi, or for me to come by and say hi, let me know, man. Do some shameless self-promotion, if you're comfortable. And if not, good night and have a good day's work tomorrow. As for us, chat, we have only gained 40 fishing points tonight. This is very low. I did not expect that. If you stream tomorrow, I pass through here. Awesome. I stream every Sunday to Thursday from 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Like I live in Canada, so like Eastern time. I don't know what it would be time for you in EU, but from 10:30 to 12 is when I'm gonna be here from Sunday to Thursdays. So anytime you want to pop in, you're more than welcome. Okay, awesome. I'll definitely pop by and say hi. You can count on me. Awesome. It's sad that we're not like on the same servers. We could do like a collaborative fishing stream, you know?
All right, let's bring that beat back.
Because we're almost there with the number of fishes that we need. So we need about like, it's suggested that we have about like 100 fishes, and we're like at 80 fishes. So we almost have reached our goal of the number of fishes of this kind of the mithril head trout that we need, that we want. But it's just our fishing skill that's really low. The fishing skill just doesn't go high as fast as the other stuff. Goodbye. Thank you. Good luck to you too, and I'll definitely see you around. Take care. At least one thing, it might be slow. It might be slow. It might be, you know, taking a little longer to do this part of the process, but one thing that is sure is that we're looking good doing it. We are looking good doing it. Look at that. Look at that. You think that's hair? That's here in the back of his neck? Kind of feels like it is, right? It's like a little hair spot in the neck. Look at this beauty. The Admiral hat. So, for the viewers that were there from the raid of Enthusiastic Panda, when I started the stream, I was just kind of like, not this stream, but like this journey of like going all the way to 300 fishing. It was we were just kind of like doing our thing, like fishing with our stuff, and I was kind of really wondering, like that's the way it happened. I was really wondering, like, hey, like, should I buy myself some like clothes that was gonna make me kind of like look good and look cool while fishing? You know, I was just using my normal like best in slot gear, like pre-raid best in slot gear, and I was just like, I don't know, there was something off about it. And then we fished one of these. We fished like one of these offense here. And when I fished one of these offense, I was just like, dude, that's a sign. Like I'm fishing and they're literally giving me gear to wear as I'm fishing. So I was like, dude, that's a sign. Like we need to do something about it. So I went to the auction house and I tried to find things that I could wear to fish. And pink is my favorite color. If you look at like, you know, my Twitch overlay, like my YouTube channel, like whatever, it's like filled with pink everywhere. It's because pink is my favorite color. And but then I was looking for a cool, I was looking for these kind of like fishing hats, you know, these kind of like adventure looking hats. I'm sure as I described it, I'm sure you already have an idea as to like what I mean in my head. And I was hoping to see one of them, and I didn't find one. I was like, there was one, but I think it was something like freaking, I don't know, like really expensive because it was like high level gear or something. And I was like, I don't know, like I'm not gonna do it. I'm not, you know. And then I continued, and I found this beauty. It's the Admiral hat. Admiral hat. So it's kind of like, listen, it's Admiral hat. Like it's literally, I'd be like the equivalent of like a retired Navy admiral that just decides to chill for the rest of his life, going to different places fishing. You know, it's like we have an RP story. We have an RP story for a dwarf that is going to fish. And, you know, when I saw this pink stuff and the purple-ish admiral hat, I was just like, dude, I gotta do it. It's calling to me. I can't do these fishing stream without having cool, amazing looking outfits. So I bought that. I bought the hat and I bought the shirt, which amounted to 20 gold in total. It's kind of a, I know it's overpriced, but you know, it was worth it. Okay, now I look good doing it. So it takes time. Okay, maybe we're not gonna be done our goal tonight. The stream is gonna end in about 5 minutes, so we're not gonna reach our goal tonight. We're gonna have to stop soon and just, yeah, I'm probably gonna go all the way to 170 and then I'm gonna stop. But even if it's long, at least we can always find comfort in knowing that we look good doing it, and that's what matters. You know, it's like if you raid, you know, it's like you raid and like you do all these things and you kill the bosses and like whatever, and sometimes you wipe, you know, and you wipe and then you try to do like PvP or arena or something, and like you wipe, you get crushed, the other team defeats you, they completely outplay you, and then you die and you wipe and you run. But if you look good doing it, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's gonna be all right. And just like, you know, imagine like you'd be like the best player in the world, like, right? Like you'd be these like, you know, these kind of like, you know, like Sea-Doo, Waz, Peekaboo, like Venruki level, you know, kind of like PvPers that are like BlizzCon winners, or this like Trill or whatever, like these world first raiders, like amazing player at the game, but then your character looks like shit. Like what's the point? You know, like if you can't even look good doing it, then like what's the point? Obviously I'm kidding, I don't actually believe that, but I'm just like making fun of it. Like I'm you know, I tend to be very critical of this like culture that we have that has the overemphasis on you know, on like looks and appearance and all that stuff. So I'm really not falling into that thing. I'm just more saying stuff to say stuff. Let's just say that.
Little ditties, tiny things. Just snatch them all up.
Damn, it is not increasing. We are still. Oh, we're at 169. Okay, one more point, and then it's gonna be it for today. We just need one more point.
And that's one of the reasons why I can churn stuff out.
Oh, it got away. It got away.
Or borrowing something that I heard.
So for those of you who just joined not too long ago, I'm sorry the stream is going to be ending in a few minutes, but I appreciate you coming along, and you still have a few minutes before, you know, introducing yourself, say hi, you know, so don't feel shy. But yeah, folks, for today, this is going to be the end for today, chat. We increased from 127 to 170. That's pretty good. So we're pretty much did almost like halfway of what we need to do. We're gonna about 50 skills, gonna be about 50 more. Not tomorrow night. I'm not streaming on Fridays. I'm gonna be streaming on Sunday, but not tomorrow. We're already almost at. Oh. Stream's having a little difficulty tonight. Yeah, sorry, I just need to reset it. It's kind of lagging a little bit, but yeah, we're still 175 cooking, we're 170 fishing, we almost caught up. We're trying to have 100 trouts, which we have our 100 trouts. What we don't have is the fishing at 225. So we're stuck there, but it's good. We did a good blitz. We did a good blitz tonight, and damn, yeah, stream is having a hard time today.
respectful. Like leave them like a little note.
All right.
Saying thank you very much for what you've done.
So chat, we are done for today. Thank you very much to have popped in. Thank you so much for Enthusiastic Panda for the raid, for the follow, and thank you so much for the amazing conversation. I had a blast. Thank you for sharing your interest and your passion with me. It was really fun for me to be able to talk to you about mine too. So really great times. And you know, chat, this is what this stream is going to be about. You know, like this is, I think today was a good embodiment of what the stream, what I would like it to be, of just a place of like, you know, people having sometimes different, sometimes similar interests, gathering together, chit-chatting about that stuff, exchanging about, you know, what we like, what we know, what we prefer, the way we imagine our future, what we would like our life to be, you know, and just exchanging about stuff, getting to know each other, you know, like this is why I'm streaming. The moments like I had today with Enthusiastic Panda are you know, the reasons why I'm streaming. And I've also mentioned it a few times in the conversation, but I'm going to write it again in the chat real quick. You know, exclamation mark info in the chat. Like, if you want to learn more about me, about my background, about what I'm trying to do with this channel, or trying to learn about, you know, like just what you're gonna get from the content that I'm planning to create for the YouTube channel, like just click on that link. Everything is there. It's a 5-minute video where I introduce myself and about that stuff. But over there you can also see, obviously, like, you know, the channel itself. So if you've enjoyed what we talked about today and you enjoyed the stream, obviously, you know, like follow would be greatly appreciated. Go subscribe on YouTube to the content. Hit the bell so you have notification when I'm going to be uploading new things. But outside of that, I also stream every Sunday to Thursday from 10:30 EST to 12 a.m. EST. So again, I want you guys to come out to have these conversations. Talk to me about what you like. Talk to me about, you know, like what gets you going in life, and share this interest with me so we can just have great conversations and, you know, foster an amazing community where we can just share amazing moments together, you know, from these conversations. So again, thank you everyone. It was awesome. I had a really cool stream today. Very chill stream. We progressed our fishing. We're going to continue that Sunday night. I'm going to be doing this, and we're going to be continuing doing these chill chit-chatting, you know, like stream until we reach our 300, and we're almost there. So thank you everyone, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.
you